So my question is, I feel this has to be a nonpartisan solution. And I wonder how your government is thinking about how you can get the other parties to form a group that is nonpartisan, that will try to develop the solutions that we have to use to change this.
So, I mean, on some things I think we agree. I mean, when we had a vote in the House of Commons on the Paris Agreement and meeting our targets, everyone supported it. All parties supported it. So I guess that's a good start. I mean, people agree that we have to do, we have to make it there. The problem is you have to do stuff to make it there. And so, it's interesting because I talk a lot to Brian Mulroney. That might surprise people. He's a progressive conservative politician. He brought in a price on pollution to tackle the biggest challenge I thought about when I was growing up. Anyone remember acid rain?
Yes.
I was wondering, is anyone going to step up, or are we going to kill all our lakes and rivers?
First thing I
And Brian Mulroney did. And he's a progressive conservative. He's a conservative politician. He's not from the same party. I'm a liberal. And guess what? He put a price on pollution. He cajoled the Americans. Ronald Reagan wasn't really convinced about this. He worked with business to find clean solutions and put a price on pollution and listen to scientists. And guess what? We don't worry about it. So I'm trying. I'm really trying. But you have to use the best tools. I was in the US. Lots of Republicans support a price on pollution. Anyone remember George Shultz? He was Secretary of State actually under Reagan. I mean, there are conservatives out there, and putting a price on pollution is a market mechanism. It's a conservative idea. I don't know. The problem is we seem to have dropped the progressive from the conservative. And look, I don't know what to say because it shouldn't be a partisan issue. Like saving what we own, it doesn't matter if you're a liberal or conservative, or you live in the north, or you're in the south, or you're rich or poor, except if you're poor, you're more likely to be more heavily impacted by climate change. We're all in this together, so I will continue to work, but I see my responsibility to the citizens of Canada. I am the Environment Minister for wherever you live, including people who are in the energy sector who we need to support as we figure out this transition. And I'll continue doing that. But we were elected on a mandate to have an ambitious climate plan, and that is what we negotiated for a year. There's no surprises. We're doing exactly what we said we would do. So we're just going to have to continue moving forward, and I will continue doing everything I can to bring people together. But I will not back down from good policies, because Canadians deserve policies based on science and evidence and facts. So maybe we'll take a couple here, and then should we do that? Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm a long-term environmental scientist. So my question would be, how would you or the federal government pass the message or the information to the public or the voters? The lady just mentioned about how the different parties work together. But first, you have to let the public to understand the issue. Because based on my experience, the public is not that clear about the concepts and the issue.
So one more question, maybe. I think there's a woman behind.
Minister, I wanted to thank your government first for enshrining ecological integrity in the Rouge National Park legislation. One of the things we're wondering about is in the management plan itself, there is no mention of the ecological corridor, which is a 600-meter wide corridor. And both the legislation and this corridor are key features for combating climate change. That's why I'm going to raise it here today. So my question to you is, how will you ensure that that 600-meter corridor gets implemented in the Rouge National Park?
Right, thank you. And actually, I see Jim. So I know many of you have worked hard on Rouge, and I want to thank you. It is really important, and it is a gem. And I agree, ecological integrity, I did a Ministers' Roundtable report where I came out and I said we need to be prioritizing ecological integrity in our parks. And so we are working on the management plan. I know many people are weighing in on this plan. And I think Rouge is a great example of how you can come together. Because the reality is Rouge National Urban Park, an urban park is a bit different. I mean, there are farmers who live there. There are, people, families go there. And we need to figure this out. Environmentalists care greatly. There are First Nations, Métis communities there. So I agree, we need to work this out, and then we need to highlight it and get more people out there. And maybe this is an answer to your question about how do we get people to understand what's going on. I think about this a lot. Like when I wake up in the middle of the night, which is a lot, it's my old age, but when I'm not worrying about a child, because you always worry about one of your children, but I worry about how do I convince Canadians that what we're doing, that we can do it, but we have to do it. And so I think getting people out in natural spaces is really important. Because when you connect with nature, you remember what you love. And I think you have to feel wedded to nature. And I think when you're out in nature, through parks, we're trying to talk a lot about the science. We're trying to have our biologists. We've got amazing parks people. They're biologists. They can talk about species and also about the impacts of climate change through weather. Often people, they think about climate change when they see a significant weather event. That's an opportunity to talk about this. We have this report. So now our scientists are going from community to community to talk about what does the report mean. So the report means here that Toronto's going to see a lot more extremely hot days. That extremely hot days may be 5 times as many. So that means you're going to have to adapt to that. You're going to have to build better. Affordable housing. Some people live in housing that it is extremely dangerous for people living there. You're going to have to think about seniors. So I think talking about through that, but I don't know, because everyone lives in this fragmented soundbite world, and it's hard. Like, I mean, I can do 1 million town halls, and I'm not going to reach that many people. I'm going to meet often people who care, who've gone to come out. So we need everyone being part of this conversation, and everyone, like my ask for you, because I always have asks, nothing's for free in life, is you go talk to 3 of your friends. And not your friends that think we need to act on climate change, but maybe the friends who aren't thinking about it at all, or who are saying, well, we're just going to pay more. First of all, tell them to file their taxes. Okay, the climate action incentive rebate is really important, because unfortunately we have others who are going to have a sticker that are going to mislead people. That we actually have, the provincial government is going to put a sticker that is misleading people about climate action incentive rebate, how you're getting money back, and the costs of climate change we're paying right now. They're also taking us to court. They're spending $30 million of your money. So we need to be out there, and I need your help. And I need you to be positive. We also think we need to be positive. We can do this. We can do this. We tackled acid rain. We can tackle these big problems. The hole in the ozone layer, do you remember that? It's repairing itself now. We've worked on the pollutants. So we can do it, but I need your help. Everyone needs to talk to everyone. But the good news is we have young people. And the young people are going to hold us to account. They are the ones out in the streets. They are the ones saying it's our future. And I think that's important because they remind parents and grandparents and all of us that we're only borrowing this earth. We're only borrowing it. It's their future, and we owe it to them to act. But if you have any other suggestions, please go online, tweet, go on social media, Instagram and Facebook, and get the message out.
Maybe over here. Can the mic come, please? Can you bring the mic?
Thank you. As you know, the good news you mentioned, I just want to say, first of all, really thank you for having this meeting, and thank you for your leadership in addressing this big CC issue. I think the good news, just like the other scientists mentioned, and I want to thank you also for handing out the prize to Dr. Winning Song, right? And he's one of the example, the technology and innovation now is going to be part of the solution. So I just want to say here, so on behalf of Dr. Song, he's a Canadian, even he attended the largest the competition he attended was X Prize, as you know, is the highest competition in the world globally.
Explain his technology, because this is another exciting example.
Thank you, if you may allow. Actually, this is called the technology itself, called actually C4X. We mentioned the CC is a big, it's a climate change, right? But this C4X really represents Canada-China CO2 conversion the last word, the conversion, is to turn the waste, which is a big CO2, into a treasure. So the new technology, actually, when it's applied to supercritical technology, it can produce all the material a lot of petroleum industry can produce, which is a huge revolution. So Dr. Song and his team is shooting for the world #1. I think competition final finished February 2019. So the good news is, again, he wants to bring the technology back to Canada. Physically, Dr. Song is in China, but he wants me to make sure, as I told you, before meeting, it's a Canadian-China team.
That's just great. And so this is an X Prize to figure out how do you take carbon dioxide waste and turn it into something that you can use. This is how we're getting out of the Stone Age. Like, this is amazing. Take a waste product and make something useful. I was just in Squamish, BC. I saw a company, Carbon Engineering. They take carbon dioxide out of the air and they make it into clean fuels. This is great. These are the things we can do. But I'm counting on you guys, smart people like you, the young people, engineers, entrepreneur, business people. Get out there. You can do it and you can make money doing it. That's also good. Go make money. You can create jobs. We want jobs.
So I'm here to try to talk to the staff after, so we can make a plan.
My staff is available.
I also want to visit Ottawa sometime, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So there's a question behind there, the next row.
Hello.
Hi.
A little bit about myself. I'm from the Chemical Valley in Sarnia, and I've worked in these carbon, the Colbury facility, and I was on the job where they actually put scrubbers in, and I would see, I would be at the facility where I would see the black smoke pouring out. They spent millions of dollars to put these scrubbers in. They have 4 units. They spent so much money on the one scrubber, they didn't even do the other one. But the exhaust, what was coming out of the top was very clean. So I work within this industry. So as far as the climate change, you see the people with the masks on, but there's particulate for sure. But carbon dioxide is, to me, not a pollutant. We breathe it out.
Sorry,
Plants
we have
take it
many
in.
people who want to talk.
So there's particulate